We're good designers of space, just like an architect is really good designer of the space within the house. We take that same thought process and we bring it outside.
You know, there was always this vision to do amazing work. That's always been an undertone, like in a motivator, right?
We obviously strive to build long-lasting, sustainable projects that people can enjoy for years.
Together, the goal was to, create a firm that focused on all those things and was founded with an exceptionally talented staff.
Vision that we all have for Hoerr Schaudt is to build on the foundation that Doug and Peter set for us. When I first started, I learned that Doug was integral in the greening of the city of Chicago.
And I've just come back from England, and I was like, wow, Michigan Avenue, it has no warmth to it at all. I mean, it was cars, there was some landscaping, but it was very raw. And I got a call to go visit Gordon Siegel and Carol Siegel, who started Crate and Barrel.
And beautifying the Crate and Barrel on Michigan Avenue, which allowed people to come out and congregate. And I think other people saw what a benefit it was to have landscape as part of a business.
It went from Crate and Barrel, and then Burberry's, and then Women's Athletic Club, and it started to happen all over.
Mayor Richard Daley drove by and saw, all of the people congregating out in front of Crate and Barrel and said, we have to do that for something in the middle of our Michigan Avenue.
As the company was growing, the level of complexity and the size of projects was growing significantly.
Hoerr Schaudt and I get together. We were the same age. He started the same year. He was Peter Lindsay Schaudt Landscape Architecture, and I was Douglas Hoerr Landscape Architecture. Peter was great at the big buildings and master plans like Soldier Field and those kinds of big projects with architects and projects that took 4 or 5 years. We both shared the desire for excellence and that we didn't have a recipe. Our stuff was designed for that project. When he joined, then about a year later, the U.S. economy hit the Great Recession. Everything commercial stopped. He would go out and try to sell stuff, and they go, we got nothing for you. He'd have lunches with architects. And just had started to turn around. And I get a call from his daughter, and then says, Mom wants to talk to you. And she said, just want to let you know Peter Lindsay Schaudt is dead. He died of a heart attack.
He brought collaboration to the firm. He loved collaborating and mentoring people.
I just remember us sitting at the table together, coming up with ideas, and then getting to a client meeting and him say, hey, Nick, why don't you run with this one? This was when I was much younger in my career, and where sometimes those interactions can be kind of intimidating, but he was definitely more welcoming and really great to work for.
I think Doug was really left wondering, where do I go from here? How am I going to pull this wagon that we created together?
Aristotle said, the whole is more than the sum of its parts. I wanted to see if I could take this service industry. It was a challenge to me to see if I could keep it going.
He'd taken it a long way and to a certain point, and we were all a part of that growth as well.
But it needed additional support to help it, move past any ceilings that existed at the time.
So I thought each one of them had a special talent, and you put all that together, and the synergy of that firm could be great. Carol has a very good business acumen. Came from an entrepreneurial family. She was my executive assistant for 21 years. We always sat next to each other. She's going to guide us. She's calm, she's wise, she has moxie. Nick Phobes is so steady, such an amazingly hard worker, doesn't make a mistake. I once told a client, if he made a mistake, I'll give you $1,000. Simon is a terrific designer. He would always be the guy I would go to when I just needed to brainstorm and get ideas that bounce things back and forth. And then you have John Evans, and he really knows how to build anything. And he's very, very organized, and so the specifications and everything would keep us out of trouble.
At Hoerr Schaudt, we were over at 850 West Jackson, and it was an awesome space. It was on the top floor, it had a little skylight, open floor plan, you could hear conversations, learn from other people.
We ran out of space. You know, we were busting at the seams. We needed more room. There's no question there.
This space, it was a pretty derelict building at that point, to say the least.
When you talk about sustainability, it's, you know, the most sustainable thing is working with something that's existing and not recreating it from scratch. And so we had the shell, this amazing shell with all this character. It was all painted over, so we had to expose things and make it shine again.
We spend so much time together. It's almost like a second home, and I want everyone to feel comfortable when they come here. How can we best collaborate? What do we need to be part of a team and build our culture?
As a blank canvas, it was something that we could manipulate into what we needed.
It's definitely a milestone for our firm. I think it definitely speaks to the next chapter of Hoerr Schaudt, you know, what we're trying to build, and that we are invested in this company. We're invested in our people. We're going to be here forever, and so we want to give us a good home base for that.
We obviously strive to build long-lasting, sustainable projects that people can enjoy for years. Landscape is a living thing. It's not so static. It's something that is constantly evolving.